As you heard, this tourism announcement from the PM today, $1 billion plus in terms of stimulus, aid aimed at the tourism and aviation sector. Lots of flights subsidised around the country, not into Queensland, as I said, but not everywhere else. 800,000 half-priced flights, places like the Whitsundays, Cairns, Kangaroo Island in South Australia, and Alice Springs in the NT. How's it going to go? Let's talk to someone who knows more about this than anyone in Cairns, the owner of the Queen's Court Hotel, Zac Sarnecki. Zac, we spoke to you a lot during the pandemic. I'm really interested with this announcement today, whether it's given you a bit of heart and whether you've already had people hit the phones.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. Great to be on your show again, as always. Look, the bookings really haven't started flowing just yet. I think people need to grab this information, digest it, apply for leave with their respective employers and make plans to come up. And, of course, at the back of their mind is still good old Annastacia Palaszczuk and her border closures. So as long as she resists the urge to close the borders on us yet again and ruin all the good work that the federal government is doing, we should be okay. But time will tell. At the moment, as I said, it really is day one. The phones are not running off the hook just yet. The sort of level of bookings that we've been getting thus far, they're still coming in, slowly trickling in. But we hope that once these airfares hit the market, people start making those plans and reserving that time off work, they'll start making those reservations and coming up.
Give me a sense of what, outside of a COVID pandemic, this time of year might be for you normally and what it's been like in recent months.
Yeah, look, okay, excellent question. So normally a property like mine averages annually around 76% occupancy. At this time of the year, we should be hovering around that sort of mid-60s, early 70s. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we do get a lot of international tourists coming through. So traditionally, Australians don't really come up to far north Queensland January, February, March. It generally tends to be carried by the internationals. To put it in perspective, we're hovering low teens, early 20s. I know for a fact that there are hotels that have got single-digit occupancy. I was having a chat to a colleague of mine who runs a property here in town, and they're at 8% occupancy. So to put it in perspective, that's really what it's doing to us at the moment.
Zac, let me jump in there. Zac, if you're in the teens, right, what's it doing to your bottom line? Because you've still got rates and power and your mortgage and all the other associated costs. You've got staff. How do you make ends meet?
With great difficulty. The credit card's getting a workout. We've had to sell another property to be able to make ends meet, and we're certainly not alone. We have had a lot of staff members that have been laid off. So at the moment, we're hovering around the 10, 11 staff members, whereas normally we're up around the 25 to 30 mark. So we really do run on a skeleton staff. At the end of the day, that's just what we need to do. We've got multiple staff doing multiple roles at the hotel. The doors still have to be open. It's still a 7-day-a-week operation, but there's just fewer guests around at the moment. So it's difficult, to be honest with you, Peter. Some bills get pushed out. For example, Cairns Council have basically been no help to us whatsoever. Those bills just keep rolling. There are other bills like electricity, as you say, that still comes in regardless. The lights are still on, the fridges are still on, the air conditioners are still on. It's all still coming through. But there's just nothing left over at the end of every single week. The bills come in and we pray to God that what comes through the FPOS machine equals what is going out. It usually doesn't. And we basically just rack up the credit cards in the hope that this will all end soon enough so that we can actually pay back down and hopefully get back to zero before we can start going forward. With a lot of properties,
all right,
it's
well,
7.5 years.
Yeah, I'm going to have to leave it there, but I'll check back in a couple of weeks and just see how this announcement's gone down. Fingers crossed. People watching tonight are thinking they need some warm weather and they'll book a flight to Cairns. I know I love that area. I hate to hear you say it's mainly just international tourists that head up that way this time of year. Let's hope Australians watching tonight book on and travel.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Zac. Thanks
Absolutely.
for your time.
Thanks, Peter. Thank you.
Zac Sarnecki there, terrific bloke. And if you haven't been up to far north Queensland, you are missing a beautiful spot in Australia.